Good day guys, it's Vicol Olawade here, and in this video I'll be giving the answer and solution to this particular question. So this question is going to be down in the whole question is going to be typed in the description below, so you can check it the description on YouTube or whichever platform you're checking this out, because it's going to take a lot of time reading this question out. So this is a question on grade, on a school system grade. So it's a program that do a program that what a user is going to enter his name and also his grade. So with the value collected as a grade, the program is going to decide whether the person is a first class student, or the person is a second class upper student, or the person is a second class lower student, or the person is a third class student, or the person is a failure student, like from below 1.5 in this particular grading system. And also we're also going to be running this exception for if a user enters a number less than 0 or a number that's greater than 5, because 5 is the maximum GP they can have here, and 0 is the least they can have. So anything below 0 and anything above 5 is not valid. So that is basically what this question is about, but you can take your time to read it by pausing the video or checking the description in YouTube. So let's get down to it. So what I want to do in this program is what? First, we want to collect the name of the person and store it. Second, we want to collect the value that will be entered to represent the grade of the user. So we are going to be collecting the name of the person, then collecting a value for the grade of the person. Then after that, we want to display the name of the person, and then we want to run conditions, which we are going to be using the if-else condition to see. We want to run condition with the grade we collected to see the class, to determine the class which the person is, whether the person is a third class student or second class upper or second class lower. So that will be decided by these if-else conditions. So now let's get down to business. First, we want to prompt the person to enter their name, enter your name, and a new line. Sorry. So here we are prompting the person to enter his name. So here, enter your name. Then we want to have scanf, collecting input from the person, which is going to be a string data type, and I'm going to be storing it in a variable called name. So before now I have to declare my variable. I'll say char name, and it bracket, square bracket. So in the program here at the beginning they said prompt the user to enter their name using array of characters. So this is basically a way to use array of characters. They're basically describing array. So you are going to be collecting the person name, but to initialize a variable like this using the char, to initialize a string like this, you have to input a valid number of the class, like the size of the array. So in this case, because I'm collecting the value of the name of a person, we know that the name of a person cannot go beyond, let's just round it up and say 15. So you are going to be having an array length of 50. So the person can type, like I can type by Olawade there, because it's still within the range of I think 20 or 25 letters. So it's still very, very acceptable. So that way, even if person has 3 names, the program is still going to run fine. Or you can just increase it to 100 or whatever, just to be accurate on the name you are collecting. So after collecting the name of the person, we also want to when you're using the scanf, always note this: after your comma, where you want to put the variable name, you always need to include an ampersand, because without this ampersand here that I just added, the scanf function is not going to store whichever value is collected inside this variable. It's just going to allow the person enter their value, but it's not going to store it inside this variable. So second, I want to collect the grade of the person. So I'm going to be prompting the person to enter your grade, and then a new line too. And I want to also collect scanf, but because the grade system is a float point data type, because we're going to be having series of like 4.3, 5.0, 3.1, 3.3, 2.9. So it's not just integer data type. They are not whole numbers, they are irrational numbers. So that way we are going to be using the float point data type. So I'm going to be storing this now in a variable called grade, which I have to initialize at the top here too. So I'll say float grade. I don't know my value here, that's why I'm not putting anything like equal to something. So float grade here, telling my program how to collect a value. I want to collect a value in the future, which is going to be floating point data, and I want to store it inside grade. So that's why I initialize it as a float. So now scanf is going to allow us collect the value from the person, and this %f here too is format specifier for what the float data type, and %s here is a format specifier for the string data type which I'm collecting here. So now let's get down to business. This is now where the main thing is, the if else statement, the conditions I want to do. In my last video I talked on decision making in C, so this is just another practical example for you guys. So decision making in C, so now we want to tell the program to run different conditions and check for different values of what for the value of grade on different parameters, on different conditions. Okay, fine. If grade is what 1.2, what should he do? If grade is 6.0, what should he say? If the grade is -1, what should he tell the user? If the grade is 3.3, is the person in first class or a second class or a third class student? If the grade is 4.4, is the person in first class or a second class lower or second class upper? So that is what we are basically going to be doing here, decision making. So first up, the II of this particular thing says what? This is the first condition. If the grade is what? Less than 0 or it is greater than 5. So this is just basic logic. Something that is less than something and greater than something, meaning anything from like less than 0, meaning numbers like -1, -2, -3, or greater than 5, numbers like 6, 7, 8. Then they say what? If the grade is within that range, less than 0.5 or what, greater than 5, if the number can suit any of these two conditions, that is what we use the or for. Or the logical or is just that if you can satisfy one condition, meaning if the grade is less than 0, even if the grade is not greater than 5 but it's less than 0, it's going to run this particular condition. A number like -1 is not greater than 5, yes, but as soon as the program says that yes, -1 is less than 0, it's going to run what is in this particular condition I want to give. So you are saying what? If the grade is less than 0, meaning like -1, -3, or the grade is greater than 5, like 10, 12, 15, then the program should display what? Invalid, present a valid grade, because it is more than what our grading system is. So you are going to be what? Saying the if what. So if what? I'm running my check on grade. If grade is what? Less than 0, or what? Grade is what? Greater than 5, you should do whatever is inside these curly braces. So this is the symbol to represent logical or. I explained the one in my book before. So here it is, the logical operators. Yeah, it's a logical operator. We have just 3: the logical and, the logical or, and the logical not operator. So this is how to use them. It's in my book already. That's why I don't emphasize them so much on YouTube. So we are going to be using them practically here now. So for the logical or operator, as long as either of these two conditions is true, either this or this, it's going to run. So now we're telling the program that if the grade is less than 0, or what, it sees that the grade is greater than 5, it should what? Print what? It should print invalid. Please enter a valid grade. So that is just for what? Numbers that are going to be less than 0 or greater than 5. So now what if you now have numbers that don't fit in the condition, like a number like 0.5 or 1? 1 is not less than 0 and 1 is not greater than 5. So what should the computer do if we run that, if the person entered that kind of value? So what we're going to do is what? We are also going to specify another what? Else if condition. So in the question here, the third part says what? If the grade is between 0 and 1.5, meaning if the grade is within the range of 0 to 1.5. So numbers within 0 to 1.5 is, you have 0, you have 0.2, 0.3, you have 1, 1.1, 1.4, and even 1.5. But I feel like this question is supposed to be grade between 0 and 1.49. Yeah, it should be 1.49, because the next condition after it is starting from 1.5. So this part 3 of this question is supposed to be what? 1.49. So we are going to be telling our program that what if the grade is between 0 and 1.49. So to write that in as a condition for your computer, it's going to just be what? If grade is what? Less than or equal to 0, sorry, greater than or equal to 0, and at the same time the grade is what? Less than or equal to 15. So that way you're going to be considering the logical and, which is also in my book on the usage and what it does. So logical and is meaning if the left condition and the right condition are both true at the same time, or like the or that we did the other time, where if one satisfies it, it's going to run. This one, the two has to satisfy it. Just like if I say find me a student of Uniosun and a computer science. Like, give me a student that is a student of Uniosun and a computer science student. You can't bring a microbiology student to me because he's a Uniosun student. No, my condition was what? Give me a Uniosun student and a computer science student, like a student that is in Uniosun and a computer science student, meaning he is a Uniosun student and at the same time a computer science student. So if you give me a microbiology student of Uniosun, it's against my conditions, against what I told you to do. So the logical and satisfied condition, as long as what the two conditions are true. So our two conditions here are what? If the number is greater than 0, and what? If the number is what? Less than or equal to, if the number is greater than or equal to 0, and if the number is what? Less than or equal to 1.5. So that will be values from 0 to 0.1, 0.2, down to like 1, down to 1.1, then to what? 1.49. So writing this now, we're going to be saying what? Else if grade is what? Greater than or equal to 0, and what? Grade is what? Less than or equal to what? 1.49. So you should run whatever inside here. So yeah, what did this should do? It still should display the name we entered and field. So I'm going to be printing what? The name, nice %s, comma, name, and what? Space, field. So a number like 0.3, 0.9, 1.1, 1.22, number within this range of 0 to 1.49 is going to what? Tell this person that the person has failed. So the third condition here is what? If the grade is between 1.50 and what? 2.49. So numbers like 1.50 itself, numbers like 1.7, 1.9, 2.0, 2.3, up until what? 2.49 is going to return to the person that what? The person is a third class student. So yeah, writing that logically is going to, we're going to have another else statement here. So else if what? The what? Grade is what? Greater than or equal to what? 1.50, and what? At the same time what? That same number is what? Less than or equal to what? 2.49. So this is going to be a range of what? Numbers from 1.5 to what? 2.49. That is the range, 1.5 to 2.49. So you should what? Print out the name. Let me copy this here. Sorry. Let me copy this here now. So you should print out the name and what? Second class and what? Third class, sorry. So I'm going to be printing third class. Yes, third class. So now the next one is what? A number if the grade is between what? 2.5 and 3.49. Meaning if the grade is like 2.6, 2.7, 3.1, 3.3, 3.4, up until what? 3.49, the person is still considered a what? Second class lower student. So yeah, we're also going to put another what? Else if condition, telling the computer to check if the what? Grade is what? Greater than or equal to 2.5, and at the same time the grade entering is what? Less than or equal to what? 3.49. So yeah, numbers like 3.3, 3.49 and 2.5 upward within the range of 2.5 and 3.49 are going to run this condition. So yeah, I'm going to print what? Second class lower. So that is the condition I say we should do. If the grade was between 2.5 and what? 3.49, person is a what? Second class lower student. So now the fourth condition is also what? If the grade is between 3.5 and 4.49, meaning from 3.5 to what? 4.49. So that is also logically meaning what? From, you should tell the computer that if the grade is what? Greater than or equal to 3.5, and at the same time the grade is also what? Less than or equal to what? 4.49, meaning the grade is going to be within the range of 3.5 and 4.49. So writing that, you're also going to have another what? Else if statement after this. Else if telling the computer that what? Okay, if grade is what? Greater than or equal to what? 3.5 this time, and what? Grade is what? Less than or equal to what? 4.49. Then you should do what is inside here. Then you're going to be what? Printing what? Second class upper. Yes. So that is for what? 3.5 and 4.49. So yeah, you can, for the last one, they said if the grade was between 4.50 and what? 5.0. So you can as well do another else statement, or just do what? An else statement. meaning if the conditions from the very top down to what this last else if is not true, then you should run else statement. And we've given all the conditions that could be true except the condition from 4.5 to 5.0, because we already said here that if the number is greater than 5, it should do what is here. So any numbers that are less than 5 are going to be what acted upon here. So now numbers that are less than 5 which are in this range, the highest we have here is what a condition to deal with a number as high as 4.49. so you can as well just do what else if what. Okay, let's just do the else if grade is what greater than or equal to what 4.50, and at the same time what grade is what less than or equal to 5.0. Yeah, 5.0 is ready to us to it. So we should be printing what the name and what first class. Yes, so I'm printing the name and first class. Let me add a knife into these things. So here we go. Let me sharply run through the program. So what we did here was what we initialized our name variable as a what string data type that is going to hold as much as 50 characters. Then we initialize our grade as a float data type because we want to collect a grade which is GP, and it can be floating point numbers, it can be irrational numbers. We also told the person to enter the name. Here we collected the value. We told the person to enter the grade. We collected the value of the grade here. And now we're now running these conditions for the grade to tell the computer what it should display to the person after each condition, after the grade has been entered. So if the grade is what less than 0 or the grade is greater than 5, then that means the person has entered an invalid number, because your grade cannot be more than 5 and your grade cannot be lower than 0. So now if the grade is now between what, if the grade is what greater than or equal to 0, meaning from 0, and the grade is less than or equal to 1.49, meaning from 0 down to 1.49, the program should run what is here. Tell the person that the person failed. If the program is between what 1.5 and what 2.49, should tell the person that the person is in what third class. If the program is between 2.5 and what 3.49, should tell the person that the person is what second class. If the program is between, if the grade is between 3.5 and 4.49, should tell the person that what the person is in second class upper. And if the grade is between 4.5 and what 5.0, then should tell the person that what the person is a first class student. So now let's run this program here now. F9. So here say what enter the name. So let me just enter Vicol. Now enter the grade. Let's first check for the first condition. And let me try to put my grade as 7. So here said what invalid. Please enter a valid grade. So that particular line of code ran at this very top because what the grade was what greater than 5. That was why I ran this code. So now let's now check for value that will be in this range, and let's see what it's going to print out. So let's say F9 again. So let me enter my name now, Vicol, and say 1.3 as a grade. So it said what Vicol failed, and that is because we wrote it here in this condition that what if the grade is what between 0 to what 1.49, and I entered 1.3, then definitely it brought out this result. So now let's go to what this next statement and see what if the grade is what between 1.5 and what 2.49. So let me enter my name Vicol, and yeah, for the second condition, so let's say 2.43. okay, so you said what Vicol third class. As you can see here, that's what we have for here, third class. So you said yeah, the third one is what else if what the grade is what between 2.5 and 3.49. So let's now see what's going to run if I have a grade of like 3.3. So sorry, my name is Vicol and the grade is 3.3. So here I said what Vicol second class lower, and that is what we told it to write here, second class lower. So now what if the grade is now between 3.5 and 4.49? So let me try to use like 4.4 as a good student. Let's say Vicol and the grade is 4.4. So yeah, definitely 4.4 said was Vicol second class upper. And now let's now try for this last statement that we wrote here, which is between 4.5 and 5.0. So F9 to run my name Vicol. So let's say the grade of the person is let's say 4.98, as I asked 4.98. As you can see now, it says what Vicol first class. So this is just a simple decision making statement in C to let your program know or decide the grade of a student depending on the grades they enter. So thanks very much for watching, guys. The other test question is going to be attended to as soon as I get them to me. And yeah, do well to subscribe to the channel to get updated and to get notified as soon as I drop new videos. So see you guys next time.